Oh, she's big. Hi, Angel. Today I'm working with a very happy, very high energy, very jumpy 5-year-old Nova. Nova's a girl with many adorable breeds mixed, and today we're focusing on her issue of jumping when excited, especially on guests. Since Nova's a super jumpy girl, I'm going to be focusing this training on teaching an incompatible behavior to jumping, which is sitting. Wow, what a good girl. So as usual, I started my training by having some quick conversations with Nova's parents about what the issue was. And again, the issue is mostly jumping when she's just overly excited. So I really want to work on impulse control in this training, as well as preparing her for real life situations when guests come over. And so first things first, I had Nova's dad put her harness on her to begin the training. Okay, perfect. So maybe let's go in here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Come here, sit. Wow. So basically, I want the whole training to focus around replacing the behavior of the jumping with the with the sitting. So basically, the whole point of the training is going to be, one, to teach an incompatible behavior. Her name is Nova, right?
Yes.
Nova, sit. An incompatible behavior of jumping, which is sitting. So basically, from now on, I would like whenever she gets any attention from you guys or from guests, that she has to be sitting to get attention. And something really important with this is, even though she doesn't jump on you guys, to keep it really easy for her to learn, I want you guys to keep the consistent rule that she has to be sitting for petting, even when she's being calm and you guys, it's you guys, like it's not even guys. Come here, sit, good girl. So as soon as she stands, let's say you're petting her, and then she stands up, then I'm gonna have you walk away. But we'll do a training exercise for that. But before that, I also want to explain the other thing I would like to do is, it sounds like, or I can tell she gets very excited when new people come. Mm-hmm. So I think one really great thing we can teach her is that to learn that whenever someone comes to the door, she has to go to her crate. And does she know how to go to her crate? I think you guys mentioned she does. Okay, so oh, okay, amazing. So then all we're gonna train today then, Nova, girl, is to basically ingrain in her mind, someone comes to the door, I automatically go to the crate, then she could come out, then she could say hi to everyone, blah, blah, blah. So before we started the first part of training, I wanted to establish the main rules to follow from now onward. First, Nova only gets attention and positive reinforcement like treats when sitting. Second, Nova gets no attention or treats once she gets out of her sit. With my less jumpy dogs, I just require that a dog has all 4 paws on the ground, whether that's sitting or standing. But since Nova is super jumpy and excitable, to make the rules more clear and therefore easier for her to learn, I decided to make the desired behavior, a sit, pretty strict. Last rule, no punishing jumping by yelling or physical corrections. And when she does jump, which she will towards the beginning, simply turn the other way and take away all attention, including eye and physical contact, for a few seconds before resetting. Taking away that attention is the best form of punishment because it's exactly the opposite of what Nova wants. I'm gonna have you walk towards Nova, and as soon, come here.
She knows touch, that's her.
Okay.
Calm command.
Okay, touch. Good. As soon as she gets up from her sit, you're going to turn around and walk the other way.
Okay.
But does she also know stay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Perfect. So, and then also you'll notice, because we're going to switch roles in a second, because she's sitting and staying while you're walking closer, I'm also going to reinforce her with treats.
Okay.
So that way she's learning sitting and staying good because you're coming closer, she's getting treats. As soon as she gets up off her butt, she's going to stop getting treats and you're going to turn around. So it's 2 things that are showing her that's not good.
Okay.
So you can start walking towards me. And then you can also pet her.
Hi, Nova.
Perfect. Okay, amazing. Then you could turn around, go back, and then I'm gonna have you do it again. You see your dad coming? Okay.
Hi, Nova.
Good.
Hello.
Girl.
She's much more interested in you than
Yeah,
me.
that's okay, that's okay. And one thing I noticed early on with Nova was that her perceived value of treats was much greater than her perceived value of attention. Now this might change if the person was unfamiliar, but you'll see even with me, a new person, treats held a greater value in Nova's eyes. This is important to note because that's the primary reason why I decided to incorporate treats heavily into reinforcing the sitting behavior throughout the rest of the session, rather than just using attention as a primary positive reinforcement. And the one thing to note with the stay command, so if this was happening with a guest, you probably wouldn't need the stay command, you know, because it's more exciting. Nova, sit, stay. But the one thing to note though is once the guest gets to her and pets her for like 2 seconds, sit, I want you to release her because the one thing I don't want her to think is that she has to stay when someone's touching her, because if she gets uncomfortable, I don't want her to like feel like she has to stay seated.
Nova.
Sit. Good girl. So for example, if you came closer and you were a guest, you could pet her, and then you as her owner could say free or okay, whatever it is.
Okay.
And then she can get up and do whatever she wants, or she could stay for the attention. Either way, she would have to sit for the attention anyway. Then Nova's dad and I switched spots. Again, me being someone more unfamiliar to her, maybe a little bit harder, or definitely a little bit harder for her to stay seated. And the same rules applied. I would walk towards her. If she got up out of her sit, I would turn around. She would not get reinforcement. As soon as she settled back down, I would start going towards her until eventually I could touch her. And again, obviously getting reinforced with a little bit of attention, but mostly again with treats, which seems to be Nova's favorite thing ever.
So one thing that could help when we have people over is just to have a huge number of treats on hand.
Yes, treats will be like the payment. And the good thing with treats is like you front load a lot of it. So like the first few weeks, you're gonna have to give her a lot of treats. But like because she's gonna learn faster, the more reinforcement cycles she gets, the less time you'll need to use it. So wait, try giving her a treat, and then when I'm walking closer this time, try not to give her any treats, just so that she can realize that I am coming closer.
Nova.
Okay, let's reset.
Let's go here. Sit. Nova. Sit. Stay.
Good. Hi.
Stay. Nova, go here. Sit. Sit. Stay.
Okay, you can give her one treat. I'll just
Stay.
come closer slowly.
Stay. No. Nova, go here. Sit. Stay.
Good. Yes.
Stay.
Give her a treat.
Stay.
Okay, let's go to
Stay.
another treat.
Stay.
Good girl. Another treat.
Stay. Sit. Stay.
One more treat.
Stay.
I'm just gonna play her for 2 seconds. Good girl. Okay, now you can release her.
Okay. Good
Good
dog.
girl. Good girl. That was good. In doing this exercise, I did realize that Nova's sit, stay, and impulse control were not at the level to be able to succeed in this exercise that reliably, so I decided to take it a step backward and go back to basics in a sense by establishing the very foundation of sitting equals positive reinforcement. Again, in this case, treats for Nova are very valuable, so it's very useful, but the exercise we just did of someone approaching and her staying seated is still something that Nova will continue to practice and should continue to practice, because it will strengthen that sit stay and practice her for those real life situations when a guest or a stranger wants to approach Nova and touch her. So, good girl. I'm just gonna move around. So I took away my attention and I'm gonna wait for her to settle down. Sit. Good girl. And the reason why when she jumps, I'm not gonna immediately tell her to go into sit is because I'm avoiding the risk of her chaining that together as like jump, sit, treat. That's like not something we want. So basically, when she jumps, I'm gonna do like a brief timeout period of no attention at all. And then once she sits, she gets the treats. Good girl, what a good girl. What a good girl. And as you can see, she's like really tempted to get up. So that's why I'm trying to like tempt her a little. To not, good. And keep the standards super low, like her Okay, I'm gonna move to a different location, start fresh. Come here, sit. Good girl. And like really set her up for success. Good girl. Let's walk over here. Sit. And sometimes she needs like a little more guidance. That's why I'm not expecting her to put herself into a sit. I'm just like telling her what to do, and that's totally fine. Come here, sit. Wow, you love treats. Maybe she's part lab. She's very hungry.
Loves water.
Oh, she could be like a black lab.
Yeah, that's what they told us at the rescue.
But they're all black labs at the rescue.
Exactly. Every rescue dog is a black lab.
That's a pit bull. But sure, it's a lab.
Exactly. Come here, sit. Wow, she controlled herself very well. Very good. Now can you handle the attention without? Sit. Oh, you have to find the treat. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Let's try again. Over here. Sit. Good. Good. Good girl. Good girl. girl. It seems, to be honest, when I give her the attention, she's kind of telling me she doesn't really want that as much as she wants the treats. So I'm not gonna give her that much attention as reinforcement, because in this moment, I don't even think it's serving as that much positive reinforcement. She seems to think the treats are like the best thing ever. So that's why I'm gonna probably just use treats for the rest of this one. So I'm gonna ignore for a few seconds. Then I'm gonna change the context a little. Good girl. Good girl. Come here. And because Nova was killing it so much with this easy kind of concept that she was already doing an auto sit, to be honest, for attention, I decided now it was okay to start adding in those little distractions, making it a little bit more high energy, a little more tempting to jump, and that way we could start really strengthening that concept that sit equals good. Gonna make it a little exciting again. Wow, good girl, good girl. Come with me. Sit. Wow, good girl. Good, good. Sit. Wow, you're such a good girl. Good. Over there. Yes. Next, I wanted to move on to an exercise that would simulate Nova greeting a guest in her home. So as you'll see in a few minutes, I'm going to teach Nova a new routine whenever guests come over, which is her going to her crate while guests come in and get settled. Then Nova's going to be able to greet the guests. So I really want her to practice the activity of coming out into the living room to say hi to the guests in a polite way, meaning she's going to come out on a leash with her parents and sit in front of the guest that she wants to greet. So this time we're going to do the same exact thing, but this time you're going to walk towards me. And you won't have to do anything special, to be honest. If she's a little too crazy, which I'll tell you when she's a little too crazy, I'm just going to have you stop so she can calm down a little. Okay. But if she's just normally coming towards me, that's fine. And as long as she sits before me, I'm going to give her the treat. Okay. So go back to your dad.
No, but touch.
Yeah, touch is the perfect reset. And then you can start walking towards me. Good. Sit. Good girl. What a good girl. Okay, we could do that again.
Come on.
She's so good at this
With
one,
me.
though.
That's our field command.
Oh, good. She's good at that.
Touch.
She's gotten much better at it in the past year or so.
A little closer. Come here. Nova, sit. Good girl.
Touch.
Oh, God. Sit. Wow. I think she gets it. She gets it.
And she knows she's not supposed to jump on people.
Okay,
Maybe.
perfect. So she has a foundation. Let's do one more, but I'm going to have you actually tell her to sit this time, because in the future, I think that's
Touch.
also helpful. Go with your dad.
Touch. Come on. Sit.
Perfect. I like how you said it before she even had the chance, when she was, hey, getting the excitement riled up. So that was perfect. So that's something you guys could do with each other for training, or if you have a willing participant guest, you could have them do it with you. But yeah, this is something you're gonna repeat. And yes, even though she's probably not gonna jump on you guys because you guys are her parents, she's probably not that excitable by you guys, it's still good though, because that means you can reinforce the calm behavior. Okay, perfect. So those are the drills you can kind of repeat on your own time. And also another one you could do is what we were doing with her sitting and like me kind of being silly and going towards her. You can also do that, honestly, one-on-one, you guys one at a time with her. Put her into a sit, for example, in the middle of the living room, and then just like create distractions. Like you could like march around her or like squeeze her squeaky toys around her. And as long as she stays in the stay, she gets a treat. And that's gonna go a long way in like impulse control, and then translate into not jumping, and then translate into sitting when a guest comes, etc., etc. So now that I showed Nova's parents some drills that they can work on with Nova often to work on impulse control and sitting and staying around distractions and excitement, I wanted to shift into the final part of fixing her jumping on guests, which was setting up a brand new routine. This routine goes: doorbell rings, Nova goes to her crate, guests settle in, sit down, take off their clothes, blah, blah, blah. Nova greets the guests briefly while sitting, of course, and on leash. Then Nova will enjoy a chew or frozen Kong in her bed to settle down around the guests. Then she'll remain on her leash with her owners till the guests leave, at least while she's working on her jumping, of course. So first up, Nova's mom showed me Nova's command, go to your crate, and this is by far the best go to your crate I've ever seen a dog do. Nova slammed into her crate with so much excitement. It was so hilarious, but really good.
Go to your crate, Nova. Go to your crate.
Go to your crate. Not quite. Go to your crate.
Oh my God. Oh, she's amazing.
She gets her dinner and breakfast in the crate. And
Amazing.
So that's how she knows her command. Go to your crate. You can open it. And she goes in there actually by herself, like for her own like peace and quiet.
Okay, perfect.
She really likes the crate.
So does she know to go in there automatically when the doorbell rings already?
No.
Ah, okay. So that'll be easy though. That'll be
Yes.
super easy. Okay, let's do it. Then all we're gonna do, this is just like a matter of reps and how many times to do it. I'm just gonna ring the doorbell, and as soon as I ring the doorbell, I'm gonna say go to your crate. And just to make it easier for her, I'm gonna physically guide her, not touching her or anything, but just like going with her so that she realizes it's not that exciting. Ready, Nova? Are you paying attention? Nova? Go to your crate. Go to your crate. And then also what I'm gonna do is reinforce her for staying down there. Down. How do you say down for her?
Down. Lie down or down.
Lie down. Nova. Lie down. Yes. And basically what's really important here is to reinforce her for staying in there. Stay. Stay. And then she can only come out when I say, okay, to free her. Good girl. And that's gonna take a lot of treats, as you can see, but that's okay, because that's also creating positive vibes. Okay. You can get out. So that's the first step for training. I think we should do this multiple times, and then we could add on the next part. So I'm just gonna go back and ring the doorbell. Nova! Sit. Sit. Okay, it's okay. Ready? Go to your crate! She's so frantic. Lie down. Back in. Lie down. Lie down. Good. Stay. Stay. So when implementing this in real life, like let's say guests are coming over, a great idea would also be to give her something long lasting like a frozen Kong at this point when she's in her crate while the guests are coming in. And then once the guests are settled and it's time for Nova to greet them, she can also just leave the Kong for a second, come greet them, and then give her the rest of the Kong to eat while she's in the living room on her bed to settle down again, like I said earlier. But just something long lasting to not only create a super positive association, but also to keep her busy and prevent her from feeling nervous and panicking and all that kind of stuff. That's perfect then. Then that routine makes it even easier. So we can add on the next part. So basically, this is her leash, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is gonna be her whole routine that you guys could do every single time someone comes over. So it's gonna be, stay back. Go to your crate. Oh no, go to your crate. Someone's coming. Go to your crate. Oh my God, stay. So then, in real life, you would close this. She'll have her peanut butter Kong in there.
Yeah.
You go out there.
We're hanging out.
Yeah, greet your guests,
Yeah.
do all that kind of stuff. Then, once everyone is seated, probably 5 minutes later, you can let her out, okay? And then put her on her leash. Wait, Nova, wait.
Do the front.
Do the front. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. You are so
doesn't
crazy.
matter.
And then
Very strong.
you can gently guide her into the living room. Come here, Nova. Come here, let's go say hi to the imaginary guests. Look. So let's just say there was a guest here.
Yeah.
You come here. Nova, come here. Sit. Come down here. Come down here.
Down,
Nova.
off.
Come here. Sit. Good. Or let's say the guest is here. That's how she wants to practice. So then you can tell her to sit, or the guest can tell her to sit, whichever you prefer. The guest can touch her if they want to. If they don't want to touch her, that's honestly better, just to create a more neutral environment. So they can touch her if she wants. She's probably gonna want to sniff them a little. As long as she's sitting, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Then, yes, then you would basically, so you want her to come on this bed.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can take off her leash.
Nova, sit.
Nova, I'm gonna take it off. You could take off her leash, get her peanut butter Kong and tell her to go to bed.
Nova, go to your bed. Go to doggy bed. Doggy bed. Go to the doggy bed. No, doggy bed. We don't know that as well. Nova, doggy bed. Lie down. Down.
Perfect, then she can finish her Kong there.
Yeah.
Then when she's done, Nova, come here. You would put her back on her leash. Where's your thing? Here. And whoever is holding the leash, one of you guys, doesn't matter who, probably better honestly if you switch off, because then she can like contextually learn both of you guys. And let's say you guys were gonna stay here, you can have her here. And then one thing to make it really easy for her at the beginning is to kind of give her basic obedience commands, which obviously is like kind of weird if you have guests over, if you're like, Nova, like lie down.
No, we do that all the time.
Okay, perfect. If it's fine, yeah. What's really easy for her is to give her something else to focus on, such as basic obedience. And it could even be things like stay. That way you don't have to like pay super close attention to her, and intermittently give her the rewards. And then also when you're not actively telling her what to do, just reward her anytime she's doing something you like, basically anything other than being disruptive. So if she was like sitting right here, Nova, come here, come here. If she was sitting here without me asking, I would still give her treats every few seconds. Honestly, like at the beginning, probably like every 30 seconds. And like this I don't like, so I wouldn't reinforce it. Nova, can you sit for me? Good.
Too demanding. Like she does a lot of that, like getting in people's space.
Right, so that's the kind of stuff you want to ignore. And of course, if she's doing it to a guest, that's the beauty of the leash. You can basically physically take her out of it. There's no need to like punish her, like no need to snap the leash or anything, but basically gently guide her somewhere else. And that's why I think like, let's say you have like 5 guests over, it would be nice if they all sat on the couch or maybe even the chair, and then you could sit somewhere that's like obviously still in the social circle, but not exactly, not so close that Nova's so tempted. Perfect. So yeah, I think like implementing the routine, which seems like you guys already do for a lot of it, so that's great.
It's not very consistent.
Exactly. So if you had a little more consistency, plus I think the leash, and then like the training when the guests aren't here, like especially the sit stay, I think within like 2 weeks you would see like a huge difference.
Okay.
And the nice thing about jumping is most dogs, like once they grow out of it or like train out of like we're doing here, they usually don't go back. Like they don't regress unless something happens to like trigger that memory for them to like go back to that behavior. But once she's reinforced so many times, and also like a year from now, let's say she's not jumping at all, you could probably maintain this calm behavior with just like verbal praise, like a secondary reinforcer, because it would become a primary one after so many repetitions during the year of training. So like once you work really hard at this for the first few weeks, I think it's like gonna be a permanent change, and she's good. And that's how we worked on Nova's jumping. To recap, I started with a few drills that focus on impulse control, especially sitting and staying around distractions, including when guests come up to greet Nova or when Nova is permitted to approach guests to say hello. Then I focused the second part of the session on really ingraining the new doorbell routine into Nova. With enough consistency, reinforcement of calm, and practice before real-life situations, Nova will quickly learn to automatically go to her crate when the doorbell rings. Then she'll calmly be able to hang out with the guests on the leash. I think Nova did awesome. Comment down below if you agree. To see an update on Nova after some weeks of training, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the YouTube short on her update and future real-life dog training sessions.